Hi guys, I'm Virukshan. In this video presentation, we are going to learn about ethics. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Let's go to the video. First of all, we should know what is ethics. Different people have different ideas about ethics because it's a wide topic. However, the basic definition about ethics is moral principles that govern a person's behavior of the conducting of an activity. Let's look at an example. Alan sees someone's purse full of money left by mistake in the class. If Alan is a person with good moral principles, he will find the owner and return the purse back. If he is a person without a good moral principle, he would steal the money and throw the purse away. This is meant moral. From our childhood, we have heard many morals from our parents, teachers, and grandparents. Simply, we can tell morals are good behavior. From that, we can tell ethics is a good behavior of an individual or a group when they conducting an activity. This is a simple definition. So you should clearly understand what is ethics. That means it's a moral principles that governs a person's behavior when conducting of an activity. At the beginning, I have told ethics is a wider topic. So we have many ideas about what it is ethics. In this video, we are going to learn three more definitions of ethics. We are going to call them as School of Ethics. They are Virtue School of Ethics, Deontological School. Last one, Utilitarianism. So these three examples, these three definitions, we are going to learn now. The main thing, first of all, let's learn about Virtue School of Ethics. Before that, you should know what is virtue. Virtue means good qualities such as kindness, generosity, charity, and honesty. Virtue School of Ethics was introduced by Aristotle. Aristotle believed that virtues is what drives ethics. The main point, this school is also known as Ethical School of Accounting. So from that, Aristotle argued that ethics are virtues. That means the good behavior, we are going to call that good qualities as ethics. It's argued by Aristotle. So you should know what is virtue school of ethics. It was argued by Aristotle. The next thing we are going to learn is deontological school, which was introduced by Kant. The first thing he argued is the concept of duty is central to morality. The concept of duty is central to morality. You should know this term very well. He told that since humans are rational beings, so they are duty bound to help each other. This is called as ethics. What is meant by rational? Rational means logical. He's telling that human can logically think if an incident happens, whether they should help or not. This is simply called ethics. If there is a problem, whether I need to go to solve them or either I can do help, otherwise I can leave that from that place. So we are going to call that circumstances as ethics. It was argued by Kant. The last school of ethics we are going to learn in this video is utilitarianism. The utilitarian school argued If an activity creates greater goods for greater number of people, it is an ethical activity. Let's look at an example. I'm planning to clean the garbages in my city. If I do so, it won't give benefit for only myself. It will give benefit for a greater number of people. So this activity is an ethical activity. This is a simple example for utilitarianism. That means if an activity creates a greater good for a greater number of people, it's an ethical. It was argued by utilitarian school. So you should be clear with these three schools of ethics. We have learned about different schools of ethics. Now let's look about some ethical issues in business. These are some of the ethical issues in business. First one is misleading advertising. Let's say I'm running a soft drink business. I personally know that the drink is not suitable for kids. Let's think of Red Bull. I'm running a soft drink business. I personally know that the drink is not suitable for kids. But I'm advertising that if a kid drink my product, they can study continuously. However, the consumers don't know that it is harmful, so I'm misleading them for my personal benefit. So misleading advertising is an ethical issue. The next thing is creative accounting. What is creative accounting? Creative accounting means misrepresenting financial statements. Let's look at an example. Think that I'm a financial accountant. My manager asked me to overstate profit. If I do it, I will get bonus from the management. If I do that fraud in the financial statement, shareholders who will use this information to take important decision will get into wrong conclusion. So it's an ethical issue in a company. However, we would learn more detailed in other videos about these topics. So these are some example for ethical issues. The next one is political contributions to gain influence. The next important thing we are going to learn is approaches to ethics. If there is an ethical issue, we can handle those issues in many different ways. We are going to call those ways approaches to ethics. The first one is consequentialist. What is meant by consequentialist? Consequentialists look at the consequences of their action and take decision. What will they do is they look at the consequences of the action and take decision. This is a type of approach to ethics. The first one is consequentialist. They will see the consequence of the action and take the decision. That means they think what will happen if I do this activity. Then they take the decision. We can categorize this into two. First one is egoist. They look at the consequences which will happen to their selves. Consequentialists look at the consequences of his or her action to his or her own self. If they look the consequences happening to their own selves, we are going to call them as egoist. The next main thing, the next division is utilitarian. What they will do is they look at the consequences of her action to entire society. They will see the consequences which will happen to entire society. Egoist is going to think about himself. At the same time, utilitarian is going to think about the entire society. So these are the difference between egoist and utilitarian. The next thing is pluralist. A pluralist look at requirements of stakeholders when taking a decision. First of all, you should know what is a stakeholder. A stakeholder is a group or person who has an interest in the organization. So you will learn more briefly in the other videos. Simply we can tell who have the interest in that organization, we are going to call them as stakeholders of that organization. Examples, customers. They are willing to get a good product from that organization, so they are also expecting, they are also having the interest in that organization. Shareholders, they will look for a return, best return, good return, better return from the company. So shareholders also a stakeholder. So these are stakeholders, they have the interest in that organization. So the pluralist, before they taking the decision, they will look out their stakeholders' benefits. So be careful with utilitarian and pluralist. Utilitarian will see the consequences which will happen to entire society. But the pluralist will think about their stakeholders' benefit only. The next thing is relativist. A relativist looks at the context when taking a decision. In that context, is it right or wrong? He will think about that. Relativist looks at the context when taking a decision. Absolutist checks whether fundamentally his action are correct or incorrect when taking a decision. When they are taking a decision, they will check whether it's it fundamentally correct or not. At the same time, relativist look at the context when taking a decision. Let's look at an example to understand these two approaches. A multinational company decide to start their production company in a country. Their management have their responsibility to decide which country to start that production plant. They already knew that only people who are above 20 can work in that plant because of some healthy precautions. So not this point, they already knew that only people who are above 20 can work in that plant because of healthy precautions. In America, they are having a law that only people above 20 can work in that factory. In America, they are already having a law like that. But in Bangladesh, they are not having such law. That means any people can work in that factory without any age limit. If that organization start their plant in Bangladesh, they can hire the people without any age limit because they don't have any laws in that country. If the management is relativist, they will start the factory in Bangladesh because in that context, that means in that country, they don't have any laws about the age limit. So in that context, it's not wrong. You can hire without any age limit. If they are absolutist, they know that it is not fundamentally correct. Why is that? They already knew that the people only above 20 can work in this plant. So if they start their factory in Bangladesh, either America, if they start in America, there are no problem. They should only hire the people who are only above 20. But if they start in Bangladesh, they will only hire the people who are above 20. If they are following absolutist, if they are absolutist, they will check only is it fundamentally correct. When they are, if they do the plant either in America or Bangladesh, they will look at that fundamental principle. That means only the people who are above 20 can work in that factory. So these are the differences between relativist and absolutist. Relativist look at the context when taking a decision. At the same time, absolutist checks whether the fundamentally his actions are correct or incorrect. However, there are some drawbacks when we are following ethics. So let's look at those drawbacks. First one is increased sourcing capital. An unethical supplier may be able to supply at a cheaper price as he is engaged in unethical practices. Example, employing children as labor. Therefore, if we buy only from ethical sources, then it will create an additional cost for the business compared to buying from an unethical supplier. But if we are following ethics, we should buy from an ethical source. So we will charge more than when we are buying from unethical supplier. So this is an additional cost, is the increased cost of sourcing. The next point is cost of turning away business. That means if there are unethical customers, we can't supply for them because they are unethical. If there are unethical customers, we can't do business with them. So we should, if we follow the ethics, we should only do the business with ethical people. So this is known as cost of turning away business. That means where it is unethical to do business with certain customers who are not following ethics. The next thing is may occupy a lot of management time. So when you are looking at the ethics deeply, you will need to spend more time for managing your company. So I hope this video would be useful for you. So don't forget to subscribe our channel and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Thank you.